During the recessions, it's not that all the industries are likely to go down, but there are some, or only the bad things are supposed to happen. There are several good impacts that happened during the recession, and these are the 4 to 5 sectors that flourished during the UK 2007 and 8 recession, which showed like the healthcare industry went up by 2 to 4%, the educational sector went up by 1 to 3%, the technological sector went up by 3 to 5%, logistics and supply chain went up by 2 to 4%, and customer service again went up by 3 to 4%. And like I mentioned, not only the bad impacts but good impacts, as in the healthcare industry is more or less recession free because people will still want to take care of themselves. There are still people who will be falling sick or be uh, dealing with certain diseases. So the healthcare industry is likely recession proof. And as a matter of fact, when the employment is likely to go down, people would want to upskill themselves. And as a matter of fact, education sector is likely to go up again and again. The technological sector, which is again to a certain extent recession proof, but as a matter of fact, since there are multiple technological changes that are happening to keep their organization processes clean and lean for that matter, the technological sector is likely to flourish. The logistical and supply chain, even though it's a recession or any other uh, problem that goes across the country, people will still need a lot of items which have to be imported and exported from that particular multiple countries, and things are likely to go out from their countries as well. So the logistics and supply chain sector is likely to go up, and again, customer services, which is like self-explanatory in that sense. And there might be a variety of ways in which the recession of 2023 will impact the employment market for UK graduates. There have been more people looking for work, which might lead to lower beginning pay, fewer available positions. Graduates may improve their employment process by taking steps like expanding their marketable skill set, expanding their professional network, and being open to new opportunities. Again, these are some numbers which is expected to happen by the end of this year, or by the time we all graduate from our universities. The GDP is likely to go down again by 2 to 4%. The competition is likely to go up significantly by 10 to 20%. The wages are likely to get reduced from 7% to 15%, or as a matter of fact, even higher. And again, these numbers are being taken uh, from the Office of National Statistics. And apart from that, again, the country or the globe, as a matter of fact, went through a slight recession, which is like the COVID-19 that happened across the globe. And it gave rise to multiple opportunities, as a matter of fact, a new way of working across the globe, which is basically like remote and hybrid working, which has significantly gone up by 10 to 20% in their current time. And online marketplace went up by 15 to 20%. So remote work is basically, pandemic has boosted remote work, which may continue and still continues till date. Remote work has reduced costs and increased flexibility for the employers, and as a matter of fact, with employees as well, which is like basically the cost of employing someone has significantly gone down. Hybrid working, which is again self-explanatory, like you have to go to office like 3 days a week, and rest of the 2 days you can work from home. And the another thing that came up during the COVID-19 pandemic was the project-based employment, which is basically, it's not something that you can do it on a professional, you only have to do it after you graduate, but as a matter of fact, you can still do it when you are studying at the university. Um, it's basically you taking a particular project of your field of interest and working on it for like 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, depending on the size of the project and the duration what it requires. And another flexible option is gig work, short-term contracts or projects that are useful for people who wish to generate additional money to work on their own. So gig work, and again, is an opportunity that came up during the pandemic as well. Moving on, also during the pandemic, we had bad impacts, which is another recession which happened, that it increased the demand of certain skills, which went for example, like the employment. for certain skills had gone up significantly. Both recession led to an increased demand of certain skills, such as those in information, IT field, and healthcare. This meant that there were opportunities for people with these skills, even though the job market was tough for them. Which and another number which came up is like 20% there in terms of increase in demand of certain skills, underemployment and unstable employment. During recession, many people must accept part-time or low-skill job. Underemployment results is, as a matter of fact, an important aspect because of it. Reduced job creation and entrepreneurship because businesses become risk averse during recession. Startups and small enterprises may struggle to get capital and resources, reducing employment creation for that matter, which went down by 10 to 20% during the recession, as a matter of fact, during the pandemic as well. Uh, and another major impact is, like I mentioned earlier, is basically reduced earnings. Graduating during recession can lead to reduced earnings that can tend to fade after 10 to 15 years, which is like a significantly larger duration. This can be especially challenging for students with larger student loans and who may end up carrying a debt burden for many years for that matter. And as a matter of fact, since we all are uh, university students coming from home, and most of us have student loans which will we have to repay in the coming times. And because of reduced earnings, probably that is something that will significantly impact on our earnings as well. So which another statistics towards that is like 5 to 20% the earnings had got down. And again, difficulty finding work. A recent survey showed that 45% of the spring 2020 graduating class is still looking for work, and 68% worry about their worry that future employers will unfavorably judge the gap on their resume caused because of the pandemic. And this factor has gone up by 20 to 30%, which is like another very significant number in the UK. Moving on, there are few tips that I would like to share with each and every one of you. While since we all are graduating in this particular fall, and we would want uh, jobs as soon as possible. Uh, so these are the few additional tips that I would like to share with you on behalf of Stunited. Be adaptable and receptive in positions you apply for. Looking into positions outside your primary subject of study may be necessary. Put an emphasis on transferable talents. So, as a matter of fact, for example, being someone who is from a MSc management background, so I can move into multiple fields like strategy, project management, and stuff like that. But as a matter of fact, it need not be necessary that I may get an entry level job in that particular aspect. But considering I'm from a business development background, that is something that I would keep as an option while I'm applying for jobs after my graduation. So that is something that I meant from this particular point. Search for openings at small and medium sized businesses. During recession, large enterprises often reduce their graduate hiring. And although smaller businesses may be still doing so in terms of hiring as well. So UK as a country is especially known for its SMEs, and which contribute to a major extent uh, in the United Kingdom and its economy for that matter. And as a matter of fact, we all have dreams to join any big four company or any big company for that matter, which may not be the scenario while we are graduating in this particular fall. So taking up and keeping your options open in terms of working for a startup or an SME for that matter is a very good uh, way of actually looking for a job. And the third point that I would like to highlight here is that use the career assistance offered by our institution, because all our universities are very well in terms of providing that particular assistance in terms of career fairs, resume writing classes, network gatherings, etc. Continue and be in touch with your alumni network, because all our universities have been there for a very good amount of time, and they have a very vast alumni network. Be prepared to describe how your abilities may benefit an employer in the challenging economic climate. Put an emphasis on your work ethics, readiness to take a variety of duties, and aptitude for learning rapidly. And then these are the few points that came to my mind well when I was creating this particular webinar for that matter. And most important thing is that network regularly. Speak with experts in your desired subject, go to the industry gatherings and make contact with recruiters, which is something that will help really help you in terms of finding a job. And Last but not the least, in your hunt, be persistent, patient, and optimistic. Although the employment market is tough, there are possibilities. If you put in the effort to look at them, you can actually find a great job in the near future. And also be very flexible with respect to your location that you're coming, you're applying your jobs for. As a matter of fact, we all are tempted to work in London or at least the city of London. Probably that may not be the scenario when you are applying for a job. Probably you have to be open to multiple locations, and you have to start looking for jobs there. And moving on, I would like to call my CEO, Mr. Manash, who will be telling you about how United as an organization can help you through these tough times. So, Manash sir, if you can take the webinar forward.
I'm going ahead. In fact, I know pretty much all of you guys, and I've already had a discussion about these things. Only one thing I can say, what Pranav already pretty much covered it up, that what we can do here in the recession, you have to build up yourself. The personal branding is the most important part, that how you are representing yourselves in this crisis situation. So for that, we are going to share in the screen, in the chat box. I think Prem is sharing it here. So we have got I told you that anybody who is attending this webinar, we are going to create this personal branding for them, that by default will do that thing for them, so that they do not have to pay anything and nothing. So in that case, you can more than happy to put the stuff in this link, and we shall do it for you. And on top of that, is also sharing the how this would be look like, the actual flip book, what we're going to create for you guys. So these are the things we're going to share with you, and any other questions, etc., that it needs to be webinar we are conducting. And very much appreciate Prem, Pranab, our Vipin, and all the Shachid, all the team members, everybody who has been working with it all together, the Suhid, everybody who work with as a team. So thank you very much to all of you. And now I really want somebody who is our guests person, very special, Mr. Hilal. So who has been heading the University of East London, this employment division. He has been the live example of overcoming the crisis moment and demonstrating himself in a very strong current scenario. And can I welcome Mr. Hilal? Yeah. So, and demonstrating himself in a current scenario, he's heading the student employability side from University of East London. He is kindly, though he is in holiday, but he's kindly allowing some time for us from his valuable experience, and he's sharing his experience how he overcome the COVID-19 situation when he actually came out. That was a nothing less than a appropriate recession. So, can I ask Mr. Hilal to communicate, and can I ask Prem to share the link, please? But I appreciate everybody. I can see there are lots of participants, those who have attended here today. That is really appreciating and encouraging for us. And I'm sorry that the video for some reason is not working here. It shows me visible, but it's not displaying. So yeah, over to Mr. Hilal now.
Thank you, Mr. Manish. Thank you for the introductions. Can you all guys hear me? Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. So, yes, it was challenging for me. I was just as an international student, just like you, coming from India. But while coming here, I faced much difficulty because I came at the time of COVID. So the primary objective that we come with is getting a part-time job to get our expenses covered and study. But when I came, there were no part-time jobs because all the restaurants, all the all the eateries were closed. Even due to COVID restrictions. So I had nowhere to go at that time. It was a tough time for me because we all have this budget thing in our mind when we come over here. But when I came over here, the scenario was totally different. So what I started with looking for anything and everything. So what the first job, you'll be surprised to know the first job that I did was just a delivery driver. For me, it was challenging at this moment because back there in India, the culture, the delivery system is not that normal for us. But over here, when I came here, I joined as a delivery driver. It was a new experience. It was tough, but it taught me a lot of things. So with that with taking that forward, I would just want to discuss about some tips that I would give you from my experience, from my short and very, still learning, but from my short experience, is that, you know, stay motivated. During time of recession, when we hear news that the Deloitte is laying off 1,200 employees at this moment, KPMG is laying off 600 employees in 2023. It's a tough time. We feel like, all right, so these companies are laying off. Why should I apply? Why they will choose me if they're laying off their trained employees? The idea is to basically, in Hindi, I see a lot of Indian audience over here. So in Hindi, from Krishna says that karm karo, phal ki chinta na karo. Do the work and don't take tension about the result. So do you think, apply for jobs, apply for opportunities, look for opportunities out there. Sooner or later you will crack it, because when I graduated, I was looking for a lot of, I was applying for everything and anything, and the result was I was getting at least 20 to 30 unfortunately emails every day in my email box. That was demotivating. So the only thing that kept me alive that time was my mentor. So I have this wonderful lady called Patricia Stevenson. She was my course leader. She motivated me. She told me that work on your skills at this time till the time you are free. So I would advise you to work on your skills and find the right mentor. So I have a couple of tips for you. Be motivated. Be clear about what you want, right? Don't run into everything. I know it's a desperate time. Recession or COVID is a desperate time. We apply for everything. But what we lack is focusing on specific areas where we need to, where we need to work. Like we apply on everything. We see that it is, like, we are from IBM background, international business management. We see any management job, we apply for it, but we need to categorize the jobs we want to apply in, right? If you have worked, if you want to work in HR, work on it. Work on the skill set HR needs. Don't apply on jobs for sales, because that, you won't, you won't be able to make yourself look out of the competition, because you don't have anything unique about yourself in terms of sales when you have an HR background. So we don't be desperate. Look for the job you want to work in. Look for the companies that that matches your value, because it will give you a success in the long run. Sell your skills on your CV. This is what I tell every student who meets me, who has an appointment with me. We work in, as a student, we have worked in part-time jobs, like we have worked in Domino's. I worked in Just Eat. People have worked in, Selfridges in sales of perfume. Use those skills and try to, mm, make something out of it. Like, if you were in a Domino's for customer facing, so you had that experience of customer relationship, mention that in your CV, because these are the transferable skills that can help your CV sell your identity on a platform like LinkedIn. Approach people in the industry whom you want to meet, right? And meet, right now, after COVID, everything has gone hybrid, even the events. So you can join any networking event from your home. So use these platforms, use social networking as an, to your advantage, right? So at the end, I would just say recession comes, it's tough. It's a tough time, but we should be perseverant enough to keep our mind open and learn new things. You never know. Keep trying. You never know when you will approach the right person or you'll knock the right door. That would be my advice. Rest everything, I think Pranav have already spoken about.
Uh, Thank you so much, Mr. Rela. Thank you so much for your insight. It was really an inspiring story. Now, I like to invite our CEO, Mr. Manash. He will be open for any kind of questions that you have, and we can take it forward.
Right. That's fine. So, Pranav, thank you. Mr. Hilal, hello.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Manish, please.
yeah, Mr. Hilal. So, thank you very much for all your help and support. Is even a lot of insight. So, I hope these people will learn a lot from your stuff, and we'll keep organizing this kind of webinars in upcoming days as well. So, thank you very much, everyone. And if you have any further question that comes and pops in after this event, after this webinar, kindly feel free to communicate with us. Everybody knows our, our details, contact address. Most of you guys already been to the office, so please feel free to communicate with us. And yeah,
So we have
Shyam,
a question.
please, sir.
Hi, good
Yes,
evening.
please ask.
Hi, good evening. So I
Hi, good
was
evening,
hearing,
Priyanka.
uh, good evening. I was hearing the speaker talk about building your profile on LinkedIn, where he talked about also networking with different people and send them a message or the company that you're interested in. So my question would be, in terms of sending them the message, there is the problem of a lot of these top management having their profile on premium and all that. Is there any way we can still reach out to them, or what do you think we can do also in terms of building the profile? What areas do we need to focus on if we're building our profiles? Yeah,
That's a
that's my question.
very good question. In fact, thing is, it's really challenging in order to grab the right people in the right organization, right on time. So what you need to do, the first thing, what already has been discussed though, but in more specifically, you need to have your own preparation. Like what they need, if you have that, then only probably the chance would create that you're able to meet them. Because first of all, there are lots of events ongoing, lots of networking things, everything is ongoing. So yes, LinkedIn is one of the ways. In Stunited, we're also trying to build up this similar kind of network, keeping the international students and freshers things in mind, because many cases these big organizations they always look for the professionals having lots of experience and especially no visa issue in UK. But yes, you can always be in touch with us. And moreover, we are creating a kind of a portfolio, what we believe can be your gateway entry, which looks like this. In fact, we are going to share it, these things with people. So it is kind of a note candidate notebook type. Probably you guys who came here in the office, they have seen it. So we are creating that kind of booklet for you, which would give you the more insight about you. It's just like about you detail, which you can take it to the employer side. And then once you send it to email or something, instead of sending just a regular message, you have to think it out of the box. Regular messaging, regular emailing or applying through the LinkedIn. If you can directly try to contact the LinkedIn or Stunited or our different other kinds of social media or um, especially NN Connect, I know WNSAT, National Social Request out. There are so many organizations, those who are creating this opportunity to meet directly to the employers. You need to come out of your comfort zone and connect with more people. And from one link to another link, things would get spread. I think probably there Mr. Halal also would be agreed with me, because the same way we also try to build up a network all the time, even in the business scenario, even in the real-time student scenario.
Yes,
So
Mr.
is
Manish, I
it
totally agree on that because, yeah, in terms of providing a LinkedIn profile or ST United profile to make it strong, you need, the best idea is to showcase what you have got and, pursue if like the challenge you told, the the individual, the facing challenge is how to meet the right person if they have premium account. So there are multiple people in an organization. If you can't go one way, choose another way, choose another person from HR, choose another candidate whom you can reach out. Don't get stuck into one person. If one door is not opening, why not knock on another door? So that would be my idea. Keep persevering and working, knocking another door. If you really want to connect someone from the industry, the idea is to connect from someone from the company, not any specific person.
And that is why we call it OPN, other people network. You don't know, I know. I don't know, he knows. He doesn't know, somebody else knows. Important is not a who knows what. Important is that for me to reach the destination. Now, if we need to reach there, if we know where we want to reach, then who knows? Get help from them. For that, if you need to go to point A to B, B to C, C to D, or different layers, you need to travel that layer anyway. But that is your internal factor. You asked me an external factor question. To achieve external factor, you need to have a mindset of your internal factor that I'm able to go to any layer, whatever I need to do. And these guys are here to whom I don't know, but maybe other people know, and I'll take their help to make it happen. Is it answer is
Yeah, thank
appropriate?
you very much. Thank you very much. I'm really excited that United platform is able to make this easier for us, especially for a lot of us that are students that are coming to the country and are looking for ways to enter the job market.
Thank you, thank you. Uh, yeah,
So
any
we also have one more question. Clover, you
yeah,
can go ahead, unmute yourself, and you can ask your question.
please. Hello.
Uh,
So my question I have already write really clear in the chat, but maybe I will repeat it again. So the earlier we have heard that a story of him in the COVID period, and he said that besides we are developing our skills, we also should have a tutor, someone that we are looking at as a role model, as well as someone that you think that they can guide us. So in um, your opinion or anyone, should we choose someone that we prefer their skills as a tutor, or we should choose consider both of their skill and attitude? If someone have an attitude that go well with yours, like have the same direction, that you feel that it's easier to harmonize, or you just want to choose them only based on their skill.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Hilal.
So
Yeah,
thank you, Clover, for that question. That's a really nice one, and it has put me in a tricky spot because you have asked me to choose one. Why not go for both of them? We emphasis on the idea of networking, and we work in a very dynamic environment where people you work with doesn't really, their attitude doesn't harmonize with you. So why not use the person who has the skill set to get the the idea of technical world from them, and someone who can motivate you as a tutor to motivate you for your for motivation. So uh, it's we it's not restricted to have one mentor, and just stick to one person. People all the life will teach you different things, or different kind of people will teach you different things. So our idea is to be, as a graduate, you have to be very clever and you have to be very opportunist. I know it sounds wrong, but that is how it works in the current world. So you have to be clever to get things from a person who doesn't, whose attitude doesn't goes with you, but to get the skill set required, to get the idea of the skill set, and to develop yourself, and use the person, the tutor, to keep you motivated over the period of time. Does that answer your question, Clover?
So you mean that we should look at someone with skill and someone else with attitude, right?
If you can find both of, both in the same person, that's the best, because I was lucky enough for having one individual in my life like that. But if you know, if you don't have any option at at current with you, you doesn't your attitude doesn't go well with the person, but your values should, one thing I would differentiate, your values should match that person. If you know the person is wrong and you don't like the way they do things, don't go with them. But if if you doesn't harmonize, if we work in an environment, we work with people whom we don't have personal relationship, but we have that professional relationship. So build a professional relationship with a mentor, whom you can learn things from technically. That's what my idea was.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think it
strategic. Sorry. Yeah, I can add on a little bit. I think it's a strategic balance approach what Mr. Hilal tried to address. I think it's a strategic balanced strategic balanced approach. So you need to work out in a balanced way. It's true that sometimes you get one person, two stuff, maybe two people, different stuff, maybe part different people. Whatever is that, if you clarity in your goal, that's most important part. And then the matching and synchronization with your own value, the value proposition with the individual that you're dealing with, and then your expectation and your clarity of your expectation. If these two within a balance approach, probably that would help us to reach appropriate place what we expect.
okay. Thank you both of you for the answer. Thank you very much.
Any other question?
So just an announcement. Since people are asking about personal branding and everything, so just wanted to inform all the participants that we have shared a link for the form with respect to personal branding. So make sure that you
Yeah.
are opening that form, filling all your details so that Stunited can get in touch with you uh, starting from tomorrow. Just wanted to inform you all. So make sure that you are going through the chat box for the same.
I think you can probably okay, so thanks that we have taken 53 minutes. You said 45, so it's okay. So everybody really appreciate all of you guys have joined here. It's really appreciate. Thanks for your time, and yeah, we look for your further feedback and appreciate everybody who has make these things happen. So we'll carry on. We're very excited now. We got a good number of user, a good number of participant here. So we'll definitely go ahead. And any other question? I can see one question coming. Frame, you can write. Freya. Okay. All right. Thank you, Freya. Thank you, Rajanandini. So everybody in the chat board, thank you very much, everyone. And Pranav, shall we then end up then?
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for joining the webinar. Make sure
Thank
that
you
you
for
are checking
hosting.
your mails regularly because we'll be having more such webinars coming up in the coming months. So make sure that you are checking your mails regularly for the same.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Rilal.
Thanks, Mr. Hello.